Hi, I'm Will Vanderson. I'm from Kansas City, originally from Pensacola, Florida. This piece is Borbor 6.1. I'm a full-time sculptor in Kansas City, and as you might imagine, that occupies a lot of my time. When I'm not doing sculpture, I ride my bicycle, look at cool plants, been practicing a mandolin. That's about it. That's me. I have been attempting to make outdoor work much like this for, I'd say, 3 years, but it's only been about the last year and a half, 2 years, where I could say that this is my job. Well, in the case of public art like this, it's a pretty obvious statement on the part of the community that says, yes, this community values the arts, so bring your arts here and everybody benefits. So I'm glad to contribute to that, because the arts are very important in my life. My life is richer for them, and not just visual art, arts in other forms. So it's a positive for everybody, I believe. Okay, the piece that you see behind me is called Borbor 6.1, and yeah, I know about the title. I used to call these pieces borborygmids, and the reason that word came to me is because the word borborygmus is it's an ancient Greek word, but it's still used in the medical community to refer to just the gurgling of your innards. And so that resonates with me because, at least as I get older, all these gurgles and pops and creaks are a reminder that, well, guess I'm still alive. And visually, I believe the work almost becomes onomatopoetic. Like Borbor sounds like what this looks like, and so that's where that comes from. The piece is galvanized steel. It's fabricated sheet metal, and then it's basically dipped in molten metal after the fact. And so it's metal covered with metal. And it'll be weatherproof for several decades is what they tell me. We'll find out. I think the theme Capricious is a good fit for basically everything I do, because when I hear capricious, it reminds me of something that has a mind of its own, sort of like the weather we have this time of year in this part of the world. And so when you look at my works, you should, and especially this one, you should be seeing something familiar. So like the galvanized tubes and stuff that you would see hooked up to your furnace, but at the same time, there's something a little whimsical happening, as if the thing has a mind of its own, these familiar forms, doing something that you were not expecting. So I think that fits perfectly with the theme. Well, to the city of Blue Springs, I would say I love the sighting of these new pedestals along the pathway. I think that's a nice amenity. And thanks for inviting me. Glad to help.
My name is Andrew Arvanitis. I'm from the Chicago area. I grew up about an hour south of Chicago. Spent a couple years of my youth growing up in New York. I went to Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, which after many years away from DeKalb, it's where I find myself again. This piece is called Once Around the Block. I operate a sculpture studio in DeKalb, Illinois, which is where I went to undergrad and graduate school years ago. I do now basically large outdoor sculpture. I started my out of college with large public sculpture, did a commission, and then for many years did only gallery-sized pieces. But in the last 10 years, I'd say I've been doing nothing but large garden size and monumental size sculptures. I was associated with a gallery in Chicago, Sonia Zach's gallery, for about 15 years, and that association ended in 2005 when she passed away. But from 1985-90 to 2005, I really did mostly small gallery-sized pieces. Those were oxidized steel pieces and bronze pieces. Then when I started building the large outdoor pieces again, I first used mild steel and then bronze and then stainless steel like this piece, and now I'm doing pieces in painted aluminum. This sculpture is about 9.5 feet tall by 3 by 3 to round things off. The spread of the wings on top makes it about 5 feet wide, I think. It's stainless steel, and the piece, as far as what it's about, I was doing a number of these pieces that were just kind of daydreams, things that I thought would make my life easier as far as getting from here to there. And so they're kind of a mixture of details you would associate with machinery or with vehicles of one kind or another. But this one, I wanted to use those details to imply motion, and that's why it has wheels and a tail and these wing-like forms. I entered your exhibition, the Capricious exhibition, because first of all, because every year I try to become a part of a show that I may not have been a part of in the past. And now that I'm centered in the Chicago area again, I try to every year get a little further from my home as far as trying to get the work out to more people and to more communities. I think it fits with your theme because it's kind of a piece that's surprising. It has a whimsical kind of attitude, and doesn't make a lot of sense because you have solid wheels that are welded in place and the wings that imply movement but don't really make it move. Someone told me once that this piece really moves air, which means I think that it has a lot of implied motion. I think public art is important to a community. It brings the gallery to the public instead of having the public go to a gallery or museum. They're usually pieces that can be interacted with physically. There are a few less restrictions on pieces of public art than there might be on art in a museum. I think it also brings communities together, focus their energy on something that everybody can benefit from, and sometimes cause some controversy as far as what's good and what's not, but as long as a piece begins a conversation, good or bad, in people's views, I think it's important to talk about things like that. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the city and to everyone that's involved with the public art program and with this show. I just found out about this show this year, and today I just found out that this show has been going on for 18 years. So I look forward to touring this show down the road and taking a look, hopefully, to be able to see what other pieces are here in Blue Springs.
Hi, my name is Stephen Fairfield. I'm from southeast Arizona in the mountains outside of a little town called St. David, Arizona. We're about 65 miles from Tucson, just to give you some geography. And the name of the artwork is The Chase. It's a young woman on a bike with a butterfly net chasing after a giant colorful butterfly while she's riding the bike. I've been an artist for over 40 years, and about 15 years ago I moved into public art got interested more in three-dimensional art and sculpture, and thought that public art would be a way to build bigger structures, more interesting things, and so about the last 15 years. This particular art is made of steel primarily, but there is a polyethylene commercially acquired mannequin that I modified into the position that you see here. And also there's casting resin for the butterfly wings, different types of theater gels to give color to the wings, and different kinds of glitter, and a repurposed bicycle frame, some steel, and a steel pipe. It's the sculpture itself sits on top of a 10-foot high steel pipe that's 3 inches in diameter, and what does it mean? The theme of this exhibition is capricious, and I thought up this particular pose to go along with that theme, thinking that how capricious is it, how impulsive is it for someone on a bicycle to take a very balletic pose while trying to catch a butterfly with a butterfly net while moving along on the bike. I decided to enter this particular exhibition called Capricious because of its location. Public art is really important to a community, and as a way to enhance the experience of just being in the community, of exposing people to art other than in a really much more formalized setting like an art museum or an art gallery, which for some reason, for some people, is a location that they wouldn't necessarily go. But here with outside exhibitions along the streets, people are exposed to art as they come and go, as they go to the shopping center, as they go to the schools. So it's a way for anybody. I like to think of it not so much as public art, but as art for the public. We need to have our lives enriched by beautiful things, by things that make us think, things that maybe we don't even understand. Maybe the forms are very abstract, but still we notice them and our mind sort of works over, what does that mean to me? And even as an artist, you'll probably find if you talk to many artists, we don't really care if you like it or don't like it. What we want is a reaction. We want to see whether you react, and if you say, wow, I really don't like that piece, it makes me uncomfortable. For many of us, that's just as good as somebody saying, oh, that's really beautiful, I'd like to have that on my lawn or on my wall. So it's more eliciting a response from people and getting them to sort of go deeper into who they are and what they appreciate. So public art has the ability to do all those things. Blue Springs has been really very supportive in terms of funding, and also the municipal government provides help, which is not that usual. Some places I put up sculptures where the local maintenance people couldn't touch the sculptures, things like that. So it's fun to work with local people, get to know people just for a short period of time, and hope that the community enjoys what they see.
My sculpture's name is Celebration, and my name is Cecilia Nisa. I'm from Argentina, and I gained my formal training in fine arts in the city of La Plata, in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm an artist and a sculptor with a focus on public art. I moved to the States almost 20 years ago, and that's when I discovered my passion for public art, and I love the challenge of creating monumental pieces to beautify and give meaning to open spaces. I've been a public artist for almost 20 years, and I love creating sculpture that is inspired by the visual effects of color and geometry. I like to work in large scale, and my metal of choice is aluminum, We also have done sculptures with urethane and stainless steel. Celebration is a sculpture that is playful, colorful, and inspired by happiness, innocence, and freedom. It is made of polychrome aluminum, and it measures 12 feet high by 5 feet wide, and it has a depth of 12 inches. I've been part of other sculpture exhibitions here in Blue Springs in the past, and the experience has always been fantastic. So I decided to enter once again. I love the theme of the exhibition, and I think the sculpture fits the theme perfectly. I think because the sculpture can relate to an impulsive young child that is jumping and running with joy, celebrating life itself. I think the city of Blue Springs is doing a great job by promoting the artists, exhibiting and purchasing the art. And I think the program is inspiring the community, bringing people together, and also it's a great tool in the economic development of Blue Springs. Public art has the power to improve communities, uplift people's spirits, and in the meantime, it can create a sense of place and identity for buildings, parks, and open spaces. That's why I think public art is so important. The City of Blue Springs is doing a great job by promoting the artists, exhibiting and purchasing the art. I think the program is bringing the community together, inspiring people, and also it's a great tool in the economic development of Blue Springs. Keep up the good work.